Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
And welcome to the Not the Weekend podcast for Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner, Emily and Gareth.
Hello.
Hi, Frank.
Yes, and is it too early to say Merry... It's too early to say Merry Christmas, isn't it? I don't
No,
know.
you start when you like.
I think I'd like to save it to about the 23rd.
Right.
Oh, it's too late by
my
then.
general feeling. I'll tell you, before we get into a serious conversation, I had some stuffed olives the other night.
Oh.
And there was stuff. It said on the thing, fine green Greek olives, stuffed with anchovy fillets.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, that's a picky job, isn't it?
Oh,
Anchovy filleting. I mean, it's a tiny... Imagine that.
Tiny fish.
Little tiny knife you'd need.
Yeah.
I like fiddly things.
Yeah.
I like doing things
Sort of
like
thing.
that.
If you imagine if Barbie had not Klaus Barbie, the butcher of Leon, the doll. If she had a Swiss Army knife, that's the sort of...
That's
you'd
what
need
she'd do,
something
yeah.
that small.
She's come back from a fish and chip. She's caught a couple of anchovies, holding them
Did you
right
say
up.
Did you say a fish and chip?
Yeah, he said a fish and
There might a
chip.
mention of
Fish and
fish,
chip.
and he couldn't get the... He had to
Yeah.
get the chip out as well.
Yeah.
He's very finicky with the... we all know about the buffalo wings and The Apprentice.
Let's not get us... and Gareth and food as well. There are issues there.
I made my own sauce this week for the chicken wings.
Did you?
Run out of the sauce I usually use. So what you do is you mix some hot sauce with butter or margarine. I think I said that before.
No,
when
that's
I
not
gave-
new.
when I
You've
gave
told
the
us that.
recipe, Yeah.
It's your one
But,
cooking story.
I can do other
Liking it.
recipes.
Hanging around with old Blanco has not been wasted. That's what I like about it. I find there's a sauce that I make for goose if we have goose, and the other night we had gander, and I tried the same thing, and it worked just as well.
Oh, Frank.
Andy.
Yeah.
As long as it's not
Do you think
David
that's a
Baddiel's
general rule?
current...
Sorry.
Pardon?
No, over to you.
I said, do you think that's a general rule you could live by?
Well, I'm thinking so. Well, also, Gandhi came round for dinner,
Is it?
and I found what was sauce for the goose. He also liked it as well. Although he didn't eat much.
God.
He wasn't on a hunger strike, but he was on a go slow. So anyway, enough of this. I'll tell you what
Christmas
there
is
is.
coming and the goose is getting fat, and
Yes, the goose is getting fat.
there's
And-
mistletoe around.
Yes, well, there isn't as much as there used to be, apparently. So, yes, they think there's going to be a shortage, and that we might have to start importing in future Christmases.
Oh. Do you make use of mistletoe with your girlfriend?
I'm surprised. Well, with your girlfriend, you don't need mistletoe, do you?
No.
I mean, in my flat where I live, in the foyer, there's a big bunch of mistletoe.
Makes sound like the
hanging.
London Palladium there.
Yeah.
Well, you
The
hand up
foyer.
the programme.
What's going on? There's a popcorn.
I was talking to the front of house manager about it. Anyway, no, there's mistletoe. And I'm surprised in this day and age it still is around when you can, because it's essentially for the sexual opportunist, isn't it?
Well, harassment. It can be it can be abused, the mistletoe system.
Exactly.
I find.
There seems to be that there's carte blanche. If a woman just happens to be under mistletoe, you can storm in, or vice versa.
I've come a cropper
Have you?
many a time.
Yeah, but don't you just hang around under it? You linger.
No, but I might start doing that now. No, I did have... Someone once did that to me, and he was just standing there for an interminable amount of time. And then I realised he had on that stuff that you used to be able to buy called Kisseltoe, which was on a headband, and it had a little bit of mistletoe coming off it.
Oh, I had one of those on a belt.
Oh, Frank!
Sorry, everyone.
And I just thought he was wearing it for sort of comedy reasons. It didn't even occur to me. And then he lunged.
Isn't that's man, isn't he? Oh no.
He didn't get what he wanted.
Well,
But
I
mate, you
suppose
see,
there had to be one.
just the one. But you see, I don't think men like kissing very much. Can you?
Do you not think?
Yeah. What do you think, guys? Because this is my theory. I think kissing is something men tolerate in the first 3 weeks of a relationship in order to get to the fun bits. Really,
Well-
I don't think they like it that much.
I think it's
The fun bits. What are we referring to?
you know,
Oh, yeah.
Just be honest.
yeah. Watching The Apprentice with, all that.
The chicken wings.
Yeah, I think that, I know what you mean. I think when you start to settle confidently into a relationship, I'd say kissing is the first thing to go.
Gareth?
I think we still kiss every
Oh, God.
You kiss, but how long? If I may ask you about your marriage, you don't have to, I'm not one to pry. But how often, when's the last time you used tongs?
Oh, my God.
Come on, that's a reasonable question.
I don't think... In cookery, do you mean?
Not
Doesn't
tongs.
go well with chicken wings.
When is the last time you had it's not enough. Last time you had a tongy kiss with Laura?
Are you like Julia Roberts, no kissing rule?
No, but wouldn't it be true to say that when you first started going out, it was tongy this and tongy that, and then after a few weeks, the kisses
You have
now,
a proper snogging session on the sofa and things.
Yeah,
you just dispense
you
with
don't
that,
kiss
don't
like
you?
that anymore. No,
Do you?
they're a sort of they're an aide de memoire for the days when you used to do the big kissing now. You know, now it's...
You know what it is now? It's like a commuter's peck. Bye, see you. And then they give them a little kiss and then they're off.
Yeah. It's just a
Kisses with a
little...
goose.
It's just a sort of topping up. There's an idea that you're full of kissing and that you're just keeping but it's not like the kissing of yesteryear.
No, Ethan doesn't like us to... My son doesn't like us to go near each other, really.
Doesn't he? What does he do?
If we hug, he wants some of the action. He doesn't want to be left out
Oh,
of the hug.
God.
Oh, no. This is why you've dropped the tongs. I was in a lift at the... at the tube station, you get a...
Well, you're always in a lift or a foyer of some description.
Well, I travel a lot. And there was a couple... I mean, you're only in the lift... At a tube station, you're in the lift for, say... Well, less than a minute. And there's a couple really snogging in one corner. I mean, they can't... At that stage, they can't go a minute without
I
it.
know.
And this woman looked at me and went... "Oh." Like, how terrible. And there is a sense of disapproval. The old get a
Yeah.
room thing. People don't like it in
Be like
public.
that. Join in.
Yeah.
No, there's
to
two.
you?
There's two of you.
Yeah.
Say, what
Well, I started
mistletoe.
really...
You had some mistletoe.
I started kneading his buttocks. With a K. With a K. I started... I could have, because her hands were fairly loosely laid. I could have started kneading his buttocks and he would have thought, this is marvellous.
Yeah,
Oh.
till she answered the phone.
He would have got...
Yeah. Yeah, that would have
Hold on a
been...
minute.
But, we were underground.
Right. Oh yeah.
The phone wouldn't have
perfect
gone.
crime.
It was, yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
I might try that next time.
Yeah. I think because you say the men don't like. I think I quite like kissing. I just think I'm not very good at it, and Laura would prefer not to.
Oh, darling, I'm sure you're not that bad.
Retching she does.
How bad can you be
I
at
think
kissing?
I don't know. I think I'm not quite bad.
What's your technique?
What's your technique?
Do you
This is the
open your
worst
mouth
conversation
as
you two have
wide
ever
As
had.
you possibly can.
Oh, I hate those kisses.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Wide kisses,
No.
slobby ones too.
Yeah, I don't want tonsils on it. So
No.
I'm intrigued now.
I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to hear about it.
Oh, we're all ears.
Well, you say that. Well, okay, I don't want to push you, but obviously, we're going to get loads of texts about.
Are you
People
slobbery?
I think. Well, with a beard, I think I'm a bit prickly.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
What about without a beard? A bit clammy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sort of...
Just every now and then, Laura goes, no.
Does she really?
I think so.
Are you more St Bernard's or Whippet?
Are you already kissing when she does that, though? So she pushes you... She's got her hands on your shoulders, pushes you back and goes, no, I don't think so. Have you got very bad breath?
That may be bad breath.
Yeah, because I've noticed that those foam absolute covers they put on the microphone, they actually burn yours after the show. There's got to be a reason for that. No, well, it's a strange... When I first started kissing my girlfriend, she used to literally turn away.
Did she? What, mid-kiss?
Well, before, as I went for the mouth, she'd move away. I used to end up just below the ear.
Did she?
Yeah, she didn't like kissing much at all. She got into
Why
it
was
just as
that?
I went off it. Isn't that always the way?
Oh.
Anyway. So, did you read about the bloke in... the bloke in Islington who works in a shop?
Oh, he's my favourite.
Yeah, who, in a previous life, apparently, I say apparently with all sorts of punctuation around it, He was Marilyn Monroe.
He was Marilyn
turns out.
Monroe. His 26-year-old shop assistant, and he said, "Yes, people have scoffed, but I know what I know."
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
Well, exactly.
So that's
Why do you scoff?
Pretty
Irre-
solid evidence there.
irrefutable.
Yeah.
He does have proof, doesn't he?
What's
He
his
has
proof?
Well, it's one thing. Well, one thing was that he saw himself in a house that she used to live in, and there was a white object in the room. And he did some research. It was her mum's house, and he did some research, and Marilyn Monroe had bought her mother a white grand piano.
Oh, there you go.
He's a bit vague about the object that just he saw a white
Well,
object.
no,
think
but
you
I don't know
make it
about
out
you,
if
but if
it's
somebody says to me object, my first thought is grand piano.
As he says himself, though, why would I open myself up to ridicule?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's his argument.
He's not the only one, though. Not the only one who's lived past lives.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you open yourself up to ridicule on a regular basis. Well, we know that.
Why do I?
Yeah.
Why would I? Phil
Well-
Phil Collins.
Yes, he's another one. He was at the Alamo, Frank.
He was a soldier.
He was
in
at the Alamo.
What, the car hire? You'd think, wouldn't you? He was driven nowadays.
He's long felt a strong connection to the Alamo.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
was so this is
No, this is actually quite well known. This isn't the kind of, he's not opening stuff up.
Well, the
to
Alamo's
ridicule.
quite well known. That's the thing with these people. Their previous lives always... I mean, you just happen to be Marilyn Monroe.
I know.
Or the Alamo, one of the most famous battles of all time.
I like that Marilyn Monroe chose Islington as a location to come back in.
I'd like to walk into that shop and say, I used to be Robert Kennedy in a previous life. Come here. Hey? What about that? No, well, he's a strange bloke, Phil Collins, I must say. Although I have a respect for his keeping time.
Have you met him?
I've never met him, but do you know he... there was a charity thing. There was I think it was part of that. You know, PETA, the anti...
Oh, yeah.
not anti-animal, pro-animal.
Anti-
You
Anti-fur,
pronounced it
yeah.
Peter.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. The
You call it Peter?
No,
Okay. What?
never mind.
Okay. Anyway, they were protesting about KFC because apparently they use quite a lot of chickens in their shops.
Don't wear fur coats, though, do they?
Why? Not for long.
Not near the fryer.
So there was a charity. This is absolutely true. I read this just this week. They had a charity thing, and he sent. They asked for people to contribute to a charity auction so that money could be raised as part of this campaign against KFC. And he sent a signed drumstick. Now,
Right.
isn't that inappropriate? In a chicken.
Wait, what sort of... Was it a drumming drumstick?
Well, I presume
Yeah,
it
no,
was,
not
but
a-
even so. I mean, if they had, if there's one about, a campaign against trapping animals,
Yeah.
would he send a snare?
He said he's always been interested in the Alamo. He says that...
Can I just say, if there was one about collars on animals, he could send a cowbell.
Very good.
Oh, the percussionists will be laughing like, well, they'll be laughing
will.
in time.
I love that.
Sorry, yes,
He said that he's always felt a connection to the Alamo because when he was a child, he was transfixed by the TV show Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier,
I remember
the
it
Disney
well.
TV miniseries.
That
Yes.
means I was Magnum PI in a former life then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was transfixed by that.
I liked. It's gone out of my head.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry about that. everyone.
D'Artagnan and his Muskehounds.
Okay.
I was.
Well,
one
I
of
was
the three Musketeers,
I was
four
Mark
Musketeers.
Sabre, the one-armed detective. I say Mark Sabre, the one-armed detective. Do you remember that?
No.
No, that's the first TV series I ever remember watching. One-armed detective used to drive as well. Used to
Wow.
drive in the series.
So he held up
Really?
his magnifying glass, and then that was all he could do, really.
Well, he had an assistant.
I just think it's not realistic for Phil Collins to be in the Alamo. He should pick someone like Noah or Joseph, who was in Genesis.
How absolutely one. And so some technicians have come in to shake Garrett's hand. Thank you. Love. Oh, love.
Thank you very
See you.
much.
Yeah, see you
no.
guys. Can you close?
I thought of it beforehand.
Close.
but-
No, don't keep. Don't. I don't want them to linger. See you lads.
Oh, I do.
That was lovely. So, yeah. Well, I met a woman who claimed that she'd had a previous life.
Really?
Yes, I was at a meditation centre in Dorset. Don't ask. And She told me that she'd had several previous lives, and in one of them she was the head of the Sioux Nation.
Wow.
Which, you know the Sioux Nation? That,
As in TS.
Like Pollard.
no,
Pollard.
no,
Oh,
the Native Americans.
Oh, okay,
Sioux
okay,
Nation.
yeah.
Not the Sioux, I mean, very litigious they are.
Does she hate Phil Collins?
They didn't fight the
They not
Indians,
fight
they
the
fought the
Indians,
Mexicans. No, you're right. I presume he was on the American side, but who knows? Texans versus
Oh.
Mexicans, I think it was. Alamo. Yeah, anyway, she said that she was, she had this drug, I won't name it because we don't encourage that kind of thing on Absolute Radio, but she had this drug that they call the teaching drug. And she was able to see her previous life, and she said she wept. She wept. And I said, what, for the Sioux Nation? She said, well, partly for the Sioux Nation, more for the buffalo. That's what she said to me. She was absolutely serious. It was, in a way, it was slightly terrifying. I've always bought into, speaking of the North American Indians, that I've always thought, if you're going to be a reincarnation of someone, I mean, I don't know how old this shop assistant is exactly. You'd think-
26, Chris is.
Oh, well, you see, I'd have thought the spirit would leave Marilyn Monroe and it'd be looking for a new house. And it'd be looking, you know,
Well, that's what I would think.
been lingering. Oh, has it been elsewhere?
So it should be someone that was born in the mid-60s.
Yeah, when
Could-
did she die? 62?
Yeah,
Well,
something
maybe
like
a little
that.
later. Yeah, exactly. Like Jim Morrison of The Doors. He, when he was 4, apparently, they saw a car crash or something, and with some Native American Indians, and he felt that the spirit of one of them, this old chief, had left and gone into him, and he'd had that spirit the rest of his life. Yeah, what about that? You see, this would the only bloke I could find who was born on my birthday was Harry Lunchbox Lundberg, who was the head of the Seamen's Union in America.
Frank.
I mean, I can see me in a roll-neck sweater,
Yeah.
one of those navy blue jackets, you know, shouting at an admiral.
Oh, I
Maybe.
can see you doing
Actually,
that.
it wouldn't be an admiral because they'd be merchant seamen, but I can see me, like, thumping the desk at a meeting with the ship owner. What do you think?
I can see you. And do you know what? Actually, Frank, I have to say, in a previous life, if you base it on what someone looks like, I think you've got something of the Roman about you.
You think so?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
no, I can
I
see
think
that.
one of Caesar's kind
Caesar.
of henchmen or advisors. Very clever you would have been, giving him good advice, which
yeah.
you might not have taken.
No.
And Gareth, I would say, he's a bit Amish 19th century, isn't he?
Yes,
we're
he
honest.
is. Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
With a pitchfork putting up a barn.
I don't think you'd be trusted with a pitchfork. I'm seeing you tending cattle. But yes, well, what about Emily then? What do you...
Well, I
would
think-
she have been a society lady?
Do you know what I think? I think I owned a chain of successful sunbed shops in the 80s.
Did you?
But feel
you were
free to
alive
disagree.
in the 80s. I mean, how could that have
Don't
possibly...
tell everyone.
You can't have parallel lives like that, can you? You can't... What did you change your horses midstream?
Sort of a Scarlett O'Hara sort of vibe going on, do you think?
Oh, I like that, Frank. I like that.
Yes. Yes, she was. I don't think she was around in the 80s. Well,
The
no,
1880s.
no, I'm thinking-
also, I don't think you could have been a fictional character.
Can you not?
I mean, it's
Does that
unbelievable.
show you up a bit?
With all respect to the Buddhists, listen, it stretches the bounds of possibility anyway. Once you say, yes, actually, I used to be Joe Gargery from the Pickwick Papers. I mean, then people are just, they're laughing behind your back. Whether the emails...
We have. Well, actually, Frank,
you looked at me then, I really thought you were going to say no, then we'd have just had to,
No.
we'd have had to have curtailed the whole
we
thing.
have, and it's on everyone's favourite topic, which is pedestrian racing.
God, they love it.
Oh,
Exciting
they love
development.
it.
It's exciting developments. This
There
week.
is some. We've had one in from Vincent Goodman, who I believe is one of my regular clients,
Oh, yeah.
and it's called My Unique Tactic. So I think you might like this one.
I think you
he-
told me about his unique tactic.
He's probably married and all sorts. He says, "Hello, Emily and the guys," and I particularly like him because he said Emily and the guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure about the billing.
Yeah, the world is in order. He refers to his imaginary commentary, which he has in his head.
Oh, God, I do that.
Do you? Well, let me tell you what Vincent does. He says, my imaginary commentary team's expert analysis have suggested that I'm currently the only proponent in the world of pavement racing employing this unique technique, which explains why I'm the undefeated world champion. Even Frank's confidence would be dented if he was to find himself on the same patch as me.
Well, that's,
Wow.
talk is cheap.
So, Frank, you do that as
Especially
well?
imaginary commentary,
Yeah, that's free.
particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he says. So he wants to know, that's his unique tactic, but you say you do it as well. But apparently this comes from something. We've had another text in about pedestrian racing, this time from Danny, who says, I've been a dedicated pedestrian racer for almost 30 years after my father introduced me to the concept at an early age. I remember sitting down with him to watch a short film called The Waterloo Bridge Handicap.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently in the film, I don't know if you've ever seen this, Frank, but the film follows 5 commuters as they race across the bridge, and there's film commentary done in the form of a horse race as it tracks the progress of each of the commuters. Yeah.
There's a film about
Linda
pedestrian
Bellingham.
racing.
Linda Bellingham.
I fancy me chances against her nowadays. A burner off, no problem.
Leonard Rossiter.
Well, I'd certainly beat him.
Gordon Kay. Oh, it's a shame.
Gordon Kay? This is the race. My God! Oh, Jim, yeah, Linda. Carry on. A film about pedestrian racing and the Waterloo Bridge.
Yeah.
What's
So it was over
brilliant
Waterloo
is
Bridge.
I
You
have
do-
pedestrian raced
Yeah.
on Waterloo Bridge, not realising it was reenacting a film. How marvellous.
Yeah. Danny says, it's sort of stayed with him, this film, so long that he says that he still hears the race commentator in his head when he's racing, saying things along the lines of, this is an amazing and gutsy piece of racing, or that was an incredible burst of speed from the young man.
I'm going to have to YouTube that. I'd love to imagine that. See, the sort of imaginary commentary I have, it says things like, Skinner, the veteran, once again, unbeatable. And it's really, it's like, it's an event, and I'm spoken of as like a legendary figure that youngsters come and try and beat. And often they'll talk about this knee injury I've got, which might hold me back, but I overcome. Often. I do a lot of that. I mean, I may have told you before that whenever I'm on the toilet, I'm interviewed about... I'm a player manager for Barcelona, and I've had a long, detailed career.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't speak it out loud. It's all in my head. Otherwise, I think
Thank
my
God.
girlfriend would hear, Spanish accents,
There'd be no Kisseltoe for you.
No, it's a homage to Catalonia in many ways. So I'm all for that. You never told us, by the way, about your Welsh trip.
My Welsh
You've kept
jaunt.
that under your bonnet.
Well, I went off to Wales because it was my mum's 70th. She had children when she was very late, so...
Yeah, of course.
But no, it was so lovely, Frank. I do like the Welsh, because she's Welsh, my mum, you see.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about it often. But we've decided to out a little later in life, and they're such nice people. They were so friendly to us.
Good.
We stayed in...
I'm a quarter Welsh, my grandfather was Welsh.
Oh, are you? Well, it's funny you should say that.
Can I just say I have no Welsh blood in me whatsoever.
Really?
Never
Well-
say die, we say in our family.
I did discover I'm from quite humble origins. More humble than I might have hoped.
Really?
Yeah. I knew about the one-eared gravedigger. There's nothing we can do about that.
One-eared grave
Yeah.
digger.
I knew about him already.
Did he paint part-time?
No,
Yeah? Did he manage the Mutant Ninja Turtles? Didn't he have one ear, the rat?
Oh, yeah.
I think he did. What was he called?
Oh, well, they were all Splinter.
Splinter. Yeah.
Very good.
I always find it odd that he was the only one not named after a famous painter, and he had one ear.
Yes. That didn't make any sense.
It's an opportunity missed, wasn't it?
Got it wrong.
Carry on.
So we met up with this old relative, and he said, we were asking about, he showed me a photograph of my great-great-great-grandfather, which was amazing. Funny-looking old chap with a scarf and a hat. Bit like your football outfit, Frank. It's that kind of similar vibe going on.
You don't think I used to beat him in the previous life?
It's very possible.
Oh, Welsh Grandshire?
Yeah.
Apparently Welsh Grandshire.
Was there a hint of ringworm? No. Okay.
Welsh Grandshire?
Grandshire.
Yeah, that's what they call them in Wales, apparently.
Is that right?
Yeah, Grandshire. I said, he said, it was terrible to see. He worked so hard, and then he worked at the mines, he worked down the mines. How perfect is that?
Well, we understood. You don't have to translate as well.
Then he said, and then he was made redundant. I said, oh, that's sad. When did that happen? Oh, he was 11. He was 11, and he was made redundant
Wow.
from the mines.
How did you come back from that?
I don't know if he did. I think he drank a lot after that.
Wow.
And then another one he told me about who worked very hard. He worked so hard. You know what? Even when he was in jail, he always tried to get to work the next day. Oh, great.
Well, hell, it's
Thanks
all
a lot,
coming
who
out
do you
now.
think you are?
Yeah, madam. Yeah,
I won't
exactly.
be doing that again.
Yeah, you come on here with your airs and graces. Well, that's but you did come back for a showbiz do though, so I sort
I
of
did.
like, too much humility for.
No, I couldn't take too much. I went to the British Independent Film Awards, which was good because my friend was nominated for Kick-Ass.
Oh yes.
And
can you say that on Absolute? Hold on a minute.
yes, you're allowed. Children go and see that film.
Oh, you have to say kick behind according to
But I was sitting at my table, and you know when someone pushes past your seat and they thrust you right up against the table because they bang into your chair.
No, I don't know that. No one's
Yes,
ever
you
done
do
that to
know
me.
that when you're sitting. You know that, Gareth.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Well, Gareth would know.
At a black tie
Not
event.
not at an awards, do no, but yeah.
Not at a
like
black
in-
tie
in-
event.
I don't forget. Where's at the Sonys?
That's true.
Oh, that's true. You did get to go to the Sony.
I had to sit in the corner, so no one was at the back of my
I
chair.
told them nobody puts Gareth in the corner.
I had to sit next to Tony Hadley. May as well have been in the corner.
Well, you sort of sat
his
amongst.
I did.
Anyway, so you're sitting there. Someone
Sitting
kicks
there,
your chair.
A man suddenly squeezes me so hard, comes up behind me, bangs right into me. When I do that thing, Frank, when I'm cross, I go,
Oh, that
oh God.
I've seen people destroyed like that.
Yeah.
Just that change, that when it's like a cloud passing across the sun. It's terrifying.
I went, oh God.
Yeah.
And he turned around and went, oh, sorry. Oh, it was Colin Firth on his way up onto the stage to get an award for Best Actor.
Oh, well, I suppose he had to hurry.
Well, exactly.
Before they changed their minds.
And I only realised afterwards there was a little spotlight on us because the spotlight was following him round the room. So the whole altercation will have been witnessed.
Someone once told me, I don't know if this is true, you know, when you walk on stage at the back of a theatre,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get a backstage person with a torch who walks ahead of you so you don't fall over any cables.
Oh.
And someone told me that they were at the Hammersmith Apollo, and one of the assistants did it with Stevie Wonder, and he got sacked.
Wow.
Can that be? I mean, that's strict. He's trying to be helpful.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm not making that up. That's supposedly a true story. I don't know if I'd be. I mean, I respect Colin Firth as an actor. I don't know if I'd be that excited if he kicked my chair.
Oh, I was quite excited.
Is he
Well,
regarded
no, I
as
just
a-
felt regretful afterwards because I thought he'll never be a celebrity friend of mine now.
Why?
Because he thinks I'm that woman that went, oh, God.
Yeah, well, in a way, you are that woman. I mean, in so many ways. I'll always think of you as that woman who went, oh, God.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.